Hello, welcome to the newest episode of my Garage podcast. This week's gonna mostly be talking about philosophy because I guess there's been a lot of things on my mind. The first thing that I've experienced, I guess, is that by the end of today, I'm gonna be submitting my applications to transfer to UC school, and tomorrow on Monday I'll be finishing up my applications to apply to a Cal State. I'm still deciding what I want to do. I'm deciding if I want to transfer to Cal Poly Slower or San Diego State University because they require different um, classes to transfer. And it's better for me to have options, I guess. Not I guess. It's better to have options than just set my sights on these three schools that I'm applying to. And kind of understanding I've kind of understood myself a lot more this this week, and the fears and anxieties that I have, and just like why I do the things I do. But when I was doing my essays and doing all these things, I realized like why I hate writing so much and why it's so hard for I guess so hard for me to sit down and write. One for the first thing is like I I kind of wanted to get over with, and I already go into this idea that I hate it, so it's gonna be bad. And I feel like that can be reflective on a lot of things that I do, or a lot of things that people do in general. They have these expectations, and they, based off past experiences, they expect that everything's gonna be the same, and that's kind of how I go about it with my life. And understanding that these past experiences do not define us, that these bad things that may have gone in our lives, they don't define us. Sometimes I have a hard time trying to reason that and ration it out, because a lot of my life I've just kind of been the same and just kind of gone about my life the same way, and it feels like I haven't really changed. But if I go back looking at 5 years ago, even when I was a freshman in high school, and just looking at how I went about life and how I interacted with the world around me, I would realize that I've changed a lot, and that the things I do, they've changed. And I'm not saying that to say it's a bad thing. I think that, whoa, I'm putting my feet down. I don't know what's under here, but understanding change is a good thing, and it helps us to evolve. A lot of people find it scary to change, to move out on your own, especially like I can't even imagine like the fear that my grandparents had when they came to America for the first time, and leaving something that they've known for their life. Like they left when they were 30, and now I'm 19 and I have to leave on my own to college, and it's just a crazy thing. And but change is important. It's We can't be stuck and complacent and fearful for the rest of our lives, or we'll never accomplish the dreams that we have set for ourselves. And I think that happens to a lot of people. Fear, just based off their past failures, and they've come to a sort of expectation that things might go bad, and that it's going to be hard, and they're going to struggle. And understand it. It's just that I feel like pain is a normal part of the human experiences. Nobody in their life has ever had a carefree life. Like I imagine like there's downsides and upsides, but the grass is never greener on the other side. Like I went to a school where a lot of people had a lot more money than me. Like they lived in Newport Beach, a really expensive area, especially in California. And I came from this place, and I always felt like out of like I felt like I had imposter syndrome. I always felt like out of place And the more that I would interact with these people, I had this expectation that these people were better than me, and that I should, interact with these people or all these other things. But the more that I talked about them, the more that I found out about them, that I realized that they're human, and has nobody has this perfect life. And I still struggle with that now, like just approaching people, but just I feel like that's always just in the back of my head. And even when I'm fearful, like especially when I'm turning my applications, I think that I'm not good enough. But I question myself. I was like, why do I think this? Why can't I be in the places that I want to be? Why can't I be strong enough to work past these troubles I have? And so going back to the original point I was trying to convey, I was I get these expectations when it comes to writing that it's going to be easy, or based off when it comes to my math class. I'm pretty good at math. It's just always come naturally to me, I guess. Or I've just been able to spend a lot more time working on math and actually find enjoyment in it. And when I'm writing, I really doubt myself, and I don't understand why. Like, why can't I put the attention that I have into my podcast and things that I find fun? Why can't I put my attention into these things? And I realize it's because, like, I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be judged at this person that can't write, or like I feel like because I'm good at something that I should be good at another thing, and I think not it's really hard for me to put in work for something that I'm already struggling with, and not trying to find like a tutor or somebody that can actually help me to become a better writer, or better um to formulate my words better. And I get even more anxious, and I think that creates a bad experience when it comes to me writing and doing all these things. And I don't really have confidence in myself that the way that I'm writing, it's going to be portrayed correctly. And when I when I and when I was also writing my essays for schools to transfer, it was really hard to write and just sit down and be proactive about it. I've had a template, and I just don't understand it, and because I don't understand it, I don't want to it feels like I don't want to try it. And I feel like once I give effort to it, that effort to my writing, or finding tutors or teachers that can help me, or finding YouTube videos to improve my writing and see what I'm lacking with, I I just get this fear that immediately it's going to be bad, and I think to myself like all these negative things, and I'm kind of going in a circle. But the point of the story is that we we need to face the fears that we have, and these expectations on our past, that they're not going to correlate to the next time, but it's very unlikely that's going to correlate to the next time. And these past failures that we've had in our life, we need to learn from them and actually acknowledge that we failed and that we didn't do good, that we that we're human, I guess. I like to I feel like I've ignored the problems of my life and not actually faced them. I've been too scared, and this just causes more problems because I could have instead of ignoring it and like not directly facing it, I could have faced it and then it would have been over with like that. But based off ignoring it, and then it just builds and builds and builds until like the very last moment, and then I fail at it because I waited too long. That instills this failure in my head. And I feel like I've found things to help with it, like clearly like um talking with people and just like learning about it, but also setting reminders on my phone to actually do these things, to remind myself about all the things that I have to do. And at first it's a little overwhelming writing all the things I need to do. It's like looking at it, and then but as I chip down at it and I spend the week working on it, it doesn't seem that bad. It gets easier every time. Like 2 weeks ago, I I set this deadline in my head on Wednesday. On Monday, I set this deadline in my head that on Wednesday, no matter what, I was gonna have to go talk to the counselor. And I've had bad experiences with counselors at my school in the past, but that's kind of more personal, a more personal reason why. But when I set that reminder and that deadline in my head, even before when there's no deadline set, that it made it easier. It made it less like fearful, because I was like, it's my only option. That's the only day I have. And it was a day that I didn't have school or anything. So I was able to actually spend the whole day worrying about it. And then when I did it, it wasn't bad. It wasn't scary, because I gave myself time to, if there was anything negative that came from it, I gave myself time to actually formulate a plan if things were going to go bad. And then I I did even more that day. Like, I went to the missions office to make sure they got my transcripts, and it was pretty crazy to see because um it was pretty crazy because the guy that helped me, I had to give him my ID to like verify that I'm actually the person that I say that I am, because I guess there's been problems. It was a weird thing to see, but when he saw my last name, because I have a long last name, he was like, "Oh, I had the same last name." And as soon as he said it, a school that I really wanted to go to, a guy was wearing the sweater for that school, and I felt like that gave me like a sign that I was doing the right thing. And being able to do more and more of those things, like last week I went with my some kids from my class to study, and just like being more proactive about my life and being more proactive about the classes that I need to take, and just like understanding more and more of what is needed of me. And this week I would say it was very hard, because not only the stress of turning in my applications, but I was really burnt out, especially on Monday and Tuesday. Monday through Wednesday, especially, I was really burnt out. Like Tuesday, I didn't do anything. And this break that I had, because Thursday was Thanksgiving, and then Friday I never have class, and even then it was the school, the school that I go to, it wasn't open that day, so I had 2 days to myself where I was just like, mostly a day for myself to just be able to relax and just enjoy it. And usually when those days happen where I have nothing to do, or I have things to do, or I have to study or these things, those reminders I had set my phone to study or to, it gave me less of it felt less stressful. Like I it made me feel less stressed out, and it made it feel less, I wouldn't say important, but it would, like, there wasn't that sense of urgency where I couldn't give myself the day to relax and enjoy myself. And then on Friday, didn't I think I went to the gym in the morning. I had to, just to get active or just like do something, but it felt really nice just to enjoy myself. And I guess, recharge for the week to come up, because I have an exam on Wednesday and Thursday, and I have to turn in a paper, and then also turning my applications, but those are done. I'm waiting on one thing, little just working on the edits and things like that, and just like understanding the importance of that. I can't just go and go and go like a machine. That I'm actually a human that needs to take breaks, and I need to. Well, what is that? I need to enjoy myself when I can. And also, on, I think it was Wednesday, after I finished, no, Tuesday, after I finished so much. I don't know what day it was, but basically, I think it was during maybe like a week or two, a week or this week, that even though I was scared and I wanted to just be myself, I forced myself to talk to my friends and like ask them if they wanted to get on. And I find myself that I doubt myself a lot, um like I doubt myself, and where I'm like, oh, I don't want to bother them, or what if they're busy, or all these other things. And then I just asked them, and I didn't worry about that, because the way I asked them, it was just like if they weren't busy, that they could get on or just do something. And it was good to talk to my friends. And even though I haven't really, because a lot of them are there right now, they're they're in Orange County, or like they're elsewhere because they're in college. Uh, like my friend, he lives really far, north in California, because that's the school he goes to. And just like setting those deadlines for myself to ask my friends to hang out or do these things, or just by making a decision or writing down and actually seeing that there's a deadline or there's a problem, that made it easier to ask for help, or to ask to talk to somebody. And this week, it just it didn't feel real, because I was so burnt out. And then Saturday, I was just working on my paper for my English class, and just doing rewrites and doing all these other things. But the more that, and I know myself, on Thursday and Friday, I worked, um, even though Thursday wasn't really possible, because I kind of spent all day out, because I was waiting, because I was just spending time with my family and Thanksgiving, and going to my aunt's house and then my other aunt's house. And I wouldn't probably have time, but on Friday I really needed to take a break, and I guess take inventory with myself, and see how I'm actually doing, in order to be a better person for the people around me, especially like my family and friends. And I realized, like especially on Saturday, I felt so much better, because I was able to take a break and just enjoy my Friday, my one day I gave myself a break. Because on Wednesday, it took so much effort for me to do my work and focus, and just work towards chipping at my reminders list. And the more, and it felt like a good break, because I feel like it's been forever. And then on Monday, I feel like I'm gonna be able to work hard, because this break felt really long. Like, even though it was just 4 days that I didn't go to school, I'm usually used to not going to school for 3 days. It felt like I'm forever since I've been at school. And I guess it gives me more power to believe in myself, that when I turn in my applications, no matter what school it is, that I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna get accepted and just be better. And when that decision comes where I accept a school that I'm actually able to leave, and because originally when I got accepted to Santa Cruz or to Michigan State, I didn't really feel good about myself because I felt like I didn't put in my effort, my most effort, the greatest amount of effort when in high school. But now that I'm in like community college and I have to do all these things on my own, I feel like no matter what school accepts me, I feel like I put my best into it. And I was able to find a solution and actually accept and go and leave for college. And I'm just excited to see what's going to happen in my future and see what I can figure out and what I can do to improve my life. Um, this was a philosophy episode, so we're kind of more like venting. But basically, I just want to say thank you guys for watching and hope to see you guys in the next video.